What is up, you guys? It has been raining today, kind of like more or less off and on, and not real consistently. It's just been kind of raining a bit, and there's a break, so I thought we'd come out here, we'd tie up some tomatoes because it needs to be done. I just did these tomatoes here. They look really good. I just ran 2 pieces of twine, but the other 2 were down there. And I did a light prune on them. They look pretty good. There's even some fruit on here, but these ones need to be done, and those ones are going to need to be done, and I haven't even attempted the ones over there. So we're just going to try and get as much of this done as we can while we have a break in the rain. The beans are actually doing pretty well. I did this last year and it worked pretty good, and it seems to be doing pretty good this year. Also wanted to take a minute to just appreciate the beauty of these pink sweet peas that just look so delicate and lovely. I believe these are the salmon colored ones, and look how pretty they are. I was expecting them to be more on the peachy tone of things, but they're very vibrant pink, and they're very beautiful. I do love them. They're so pretty. I've done a video in depth talking about how to prune your tomato plants if you decide you're going to prune them, and I will try and leave that link down below. But basically, I'm just getting rid of extra leaves, getting rid of extra suckers, and just pruning anything that overlaps or looks like there's not enough space for it. And that's really it. Like, that's the big thing. And then I'm just tying them up, and I'm doing the Florida weave method, where essentially, and I'll show you guys here. Essentially what you do is you just kind of make an opening like this, and you train the plants up between it. That's really the easiest method, and it works really, really well for me. So I'm just doing it this way. And one of the tricks I learned about doing this is, instead of doing big expanses, just do from pole to pole. That way you're not working with such a massive piece of wire. That's a mistake I always end up making, is I try to work with too big of sections, but just condense it down to a small section and work one small section at a time. And you will thank yourself later, because it definitely has made it a little bit easier working in just smaller sections. So this section's done. I don't have to worry about it or think about it, and I can move on to the next section. Okay, that took me about 3 minutes to run both of those here, but that'll help kind of keep them growing straight up and not falling all over the place. And it will make it easier to prune them as it goes, but that looks a lot better. And I'm just gonna work all the way down here, all the way down. I can't figure out if this is grape tomato. I think that's what this might be, is a type of grape tomato, because I did have some of those out here. This one looks just so healthy. It's got that vinyl in it, but it looks good. So we'll just keep plugging away at it until we get them all. Taking me 40 minutes to do this, but they're all done. Ooh, don't look at the strawberry beds. Those are a disaster, but all those are done. So now I just have to do the other side. So I imagine that's going to take me another 40 minutes. So this is just your friendly reminder that when you're pruning your tomatoes, if you're using clippers, to go through periodically with some rubbing alcohol, put it on a cloth or a disposable napkin, and just wipe it down really good, between every 3 to 5 plants, or per row, or whatever you want to do, because that way, if you have a tomato plant that's got a disease on it, you're not spreading it, and this will help with that. basically took me 2 hours. So I guess that whole like, oh, this one only took 3 minutes. It's like, well, not all of them took that short amount of time, but they're all done and they look really good. So, I don't know, in person it looks a little better, I think, but you can see there's some fruit down here. Ooh, this one's pretty. Look at the shape of that. I love that. But yeah, there you go. They're all tied up and they look pretty good. They look really sparse, but they'll grow back super, super fast. They always bush out really quickly, really full. These ones over here look really good too. There's even some more fruit produce down here, and this does give me insight to see like how much produce is on the plants, what's going on, how are they looking. So yeah, it just helps me maintain and keep up with things too. These are the 2 other rows of tomato plants. I do have a 3rd row out in the corn patch that I'll show you, but these are the black crims, and I did put down an initial set of twine, so they do have a bit more uprightness to them, a little bit more legginess, so I can train those up pretty easily. That plant needs to go, that's a sick plant, but everything else here is going to be pretty easy. These here are the black crims, and they were looking a little, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I just haven't done anything with them, and they've gotten really bushy, and because they fell over and then they got bushy. So what I may do with them is, instead of taking them and propping them up like this, I may allow them to sit on the ground like this and just prune the leaves up, and now start training them and just allow this main stem to lay on the ground and root. That may be what I do. Maybe think of it as an experiment this year to see what happens, because it kind of got away from me, and I know that if I prop it up like this, I'll have to cut off a lot of growth. So maybe to try and save some growth and time, I may just kind of like take off these lower leaves and let them they'll be a little bit more bushy. So we'll see. But they're looking really good. They have some produce on them as well, which I'm excited for, and they look really good. So I had a lot of extra tomato plants this year, and to be honest, the corn, this looks really good, to be honest, for us. The corn doesn't usually look this good for us. This is, I would dare say this is pretty good corn year so far. Can't speak fully until the harvest, but the germination was really phenomenal this year, so really happy about that. But definitely some weeds to pull. But this is a whole row of tomatoes out here. I think there's 20, and they're looking really good. They're starting to kind of get bushy and get some good size on them. They're planted super, super deep. So they're really sturdy, actually. But I will have to put some sort of trellising out here for them. But they look really good. There's actually been some birds that come, and they'll just sit on the tops of the tomato plants. So I also planted some Queenie lime zinnias out here, which I'm really, really excited for, because that's just a different zinnia variety, and I'm really excited. Look how dainty and small they are. So they'll come up, and if I can get these to just have, like, even if I can get one thing to flower, then I can save the seeds and I'll have enough Queenie lime zinnias to do it again next year. But almost all of them came up, so they came up really well, and they look really good. And I'm really excited because they're the most pretty peachy colored zinnias, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I need to come pull some grass out, but you know, we'll see. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.